Hi everyone, Carol Turner here again. I thought I'd come to you again and bring you another tip on making your own texture plates. I've got a couple here that I've made. This I made just taking some Sculpey 3 that I had, and I used I don't have any ball tools. The only ball tool I have is this small one. So I took the end of this silicone tool. It has a ball end on it, so I used that to make some indents in there. And then I took this metal tool and used that to make them indents. And I did that all over. I thought it looked neat, but then I broke it. There's a little crack right here. I glued it back together though. But I want to make something else like it, but I want something different with it. So I think I'll probably end up using them again. I also made a couple other texture plates. These are, I've got a glass bowl that has this design on it. And so I took some more scrap clay and pressed it into the glass bowl that I had, and then laid it out flat and cooked them. But we're going to do another texture sheet here today. And this time I've got some stamps here that were actually for a concrete stamps for making concrete stepping stones, and you use these to put little designs into the stepping stones or something. Hi everyone, Carol Turner here. I got done making this texture stamp, and I had realized that my phone didn't even record it. I don't know what happened, that it had stopped recording, but it did so. And I did not want to redo this all over again and not bake it because it can come out so good. So I decided to go ahead and bake it and just do another one and show you how I did it, just in case it doesn't come out as good as I did that one. So I used this stamp. Oh, sorry, I keep hitting that camera. I need to get a new camera stand. And we're going to wet down the clay so the stamp don't stick to it. And we're just going to randomly stick flowers all over it. But when I kept doing the same thing yesterday, not pressing down hard enough on one side. Okay. But when we're done here, I got an idea for another texture stamp. And we're going to go ahead and make that too. Because I'm not going to keep this one. I already have one made, so I'm just doing this again just to show y'all how I did the one I already made. Just randomly put them all over the place. Yeah, I did it again. I'm just afraid of pressing down too hard into the clay, going all the way down through. And I tend to put pressure on one side of the stamp, then I do the other. Well, also too, the stamp that I'm using, they got the flower on the corner of the stamp instead of having it right in the center of the stamp. It's on the corner, so you can't easily just press down in the center of the stamp. You got to press down in the corner of the stamp. I'm going to make this one hang off the edge. Which I probably pressed a little too hard on that one. You can feel that I didn't press down that hard on that side. And we'll do, I think, one more up here in the corner, and we should be good. Yeah. One little one up here. Okay. And then what I did is I took the end of one of my silicone tools. I just took the ball end of it and just randomly went around sticking it into the clay, because I don't have a ball tool that big and I wanted something bigger. Okay. Excuse me. And then I took my ball tool, the bigger end of it, and went around and randomly stuck that in. Can't stick too much in though, because we gotta make room for our other tool that makes the little like leaf looking design in it. Alright, and then I took my one of my metal clay tools, the one that looks like a little leaf shape type on the end. And one of the mistakes I made at the other one that I showed you, this one here, one of the mistakes I made was pressing down too deep into the clay on the front end of it, and I think that that's just too deep. I think that you probably get clay that would get stuck down in there if you try to push any clay into it. So this time I'm gonna make sure I try and keep it level like that. And we're gonna just turn it around in different directions and press it into the clay. Just randomly put them wherever you want until you're happy with the way it looks. See? Pretty much looks the same. Well, I think I got my ball indents on both the balls are a little bit deeper. I think maybe, you know, maybe deepen them. And then even the ball tool, I can go a little bit deeper on some of them too. And I need a lot more of them. Now that I think of it, I think the ball tool I did last. So I was able to stick a whole lot of them on. You want to go with your largest tool first. And then just save your small tool for the last. There we go. I think we got enough now. See? Looks the same. I really do like how it turned out. I plan on doing a mica shift with this pattern pretty soon. We'll get a tutorial out to you on a mica shift pattern for that. But until then, I've got another idea for another texture plate that I want to try out. Maybe it might work out. I try and get as much of this liquid up as I can. I don't want to mush any more liquid into the clay because it'll just make it softer and more stickier. And then I'll have a hard time with trying to manage the clay when it's all sticky like that. I'm trying to get any moisture off the back. Here we go. Okay, I'm gonna roll this back through my pasta machine, get it flattened out, and we'll move on to the next texture. Well, shoot. I'm using tissue instead of paper towel, and the tissue just tore inside the clay. But since I'm not saving this pattern, I guess I could press down inside these little divots here and get all that moisture out of it. So I really don't want any extra moisture in this clay. I mean, it's Sculpey 3, so I mean it's It's already soft enough as it is. I do not need it any softer. Okay, I think I got it all out. Alright, I'll run this back to the pasta machine. Okay, just want to make sure that I'm pressing all the air out. I keep forgetting about my rings to make those indents in the clay when I rub my fingers across it. Alright, well, I'm going to roll this out flat anyways. I have to roll it over because my pasta machine makes the clay way too thin. My thickest setting is a very thin setting. So I have to fold it over twice to get a good thickness. And then I have to roll over it again a little bit to make sure the two layers are sticking together. Okay, I seen this yesterday and I thought that would make a good pattern. My dryer ball. I thought that would make an excellent pattern in the clay for a texture sheet. Right, here we go. I forgot to put water on the clay. Totally forgot. See if I can get the... Okay, here we go. I'm trying to keep the rows to the same. So I'm not overlapping. I don't know, I think it actually turned out okay. It's just meant to put a bunch of holes all over it. But I guess I could have done the same thing with my ball tool here, just done it in a line like this. Yeah, my ball tool would have done the same thing. But at the same time, I can use my ball tool to clean up some of these. It didn't do so well. Yeah, I think I'm gonna go ahead and probably go ahead and bake this on up. But there's another another way of making a texture sheet too, besides that one. And that one I really do like. I like how this one came out a lot. And I can't wait to use it on a mica shift. So hopefully I'll be able to get you that video on the mica shift out pretty soon. I'm gonna clean my edges up here if I can find my clay blade. There it is. I need to clean my desk up a little bit. I'm gonna clean these sides up. Straighten this edge out. And straighten this edge out. And there we have a pattern. I'll stick this in the oven at 275 and bake it for a full hour. We'll have another texture sheet. But hopefully I'll get you that tutorial out on doing a mica shift with one of these patterns anyways. Hopefully it's gonna be this one, but maybe both, you never know. Hi everyone, I'm back. I showed you the laundry ball idea on putting divots in the clay to make a texture sheet out of. I just really wasn't feeling that. It just looked too sloppy to me. So I had another idea of just taking, like we did with the one with the flowers on it, just taking the ball tool and the silicone tool with the handle end of it and making a bunch of divots all over the clay. But I also found this tool that I have here. It's actually, it's a little ceramic razor blade. I think it's for working with paper products, you know, and paper craft and stuff. And it's got rounded ends on it too, kind of like a ball tool would. And then, of course, I also have a makeup brush that I use for working on, you know, clay. I'll use it for like dusting cornstarch on stuff like that, mica powders, stuff like that. And it's got a rounded end on it too. So I thought I'd just take all these tools and just make random different size holes all over the clay and see how that turns out. So if it turns out pretty good, then I'll keep this part in the video. But I think we'll start with the largest tool first, which would be this. I think this end has the largest end on it and the roundest end. This one has more of a pointier end and this has a rounder end. So we'll start out with this one. I did not put water on here. Oops, sorry. Hope I didn't shake anybody up there. But I forgot to put water on my clay again. I always forget that. I don't know why, but that's the one thing I always forget. You always want to put water on your clay or cornstarch to keep your stuff from sticking to your clay. And just randomly go around the whole piece of clay and randomly put holes in it. I'm twisting because it seems to make the holes smoother. Because when you go to lift the tool up, it wants to pull up on the clay. But if I twist, it seems to keep it smooth. Okay, I think that's enough of that one. And I think the next one we'll go with is this one. This one does just about the same kind of holes as the other one tool did, but just a little smaller. So we're putting like different size craters into the clay. And just gotta remember to leave some room for some other tools here. I think that's good enough. Alright, let's try this one. We got a little hair here. Is that I think that's a crack in the clay. Line. Now this one seems to make more of a pointier crater. And just a little smaller than the last tool. Which is what we want. We want random holes with different size holes. And let's see, where have I have it over here. Okay. Now let's try our ball tool. It's kind of like when you get that, like bubbles or something, you know? And you got all those different size bubbles. It's kind of like what it is. But instead of creating different size bubbles, we're creating different size holes. I like how this one's turning out. I accidentally went into another hole there. I really do like how this one's turning out. I like this one a lot better than the laundry ball. The laundry ball one I just wasn't, it just didn't feel right to me. It's just way too sloppy and messy. Even though it's just a texture plate and it's meant to give texture to clay. I just didn't think that it was going to give the right kind of texture that the clay was going to need. It probably would have just made the clay look bad. But I like how this turned out. I'm going to fix this here. I'm going to just use my ball tool to smooth it into one big hole here. Okay. Smooth those edges out a little bit. Okay. See if there's any other places that it might need something going on in it. Yeah, I like how this one turned out a lot better. I want to concentrate more on the center area because I'm going to be chopping these ends off anyways to even this out. I think that's good. I think we got it. Maybe just a few little... No, not the tiny ones. The tiny ones are too small. Maybe add some more. Instead of keep adding the ball tool one, add some more of the other kind. Other sizes. Alright, I better stop while I'm good. It's looking good like this. I don't want to keep going. I'll probably mess it up. But this one I'm going to keep. I'm going to go ahead and dry this off. And I don't want to flatten it out too much. So lightly tap. Yeah. Alright. Well, if you guys like this pattern and this tutorial, well, kind of went through a little bit on the other side. I'll probably end up putting a backing on this. I'm going to put it in the oven like it is now. But I might end up putting a backing on this because there's, if you can see, there's some holes all the way through it. push too hard down into the clay. But I'm going to bake it like it is. And then turn around and put a backing on it. And stick it back in the oven again. Okay. If you guys enjoyed learning how to make these from me today, please go ahead and like my video, share it, subscribe it. I'm trying to get as many viewers as I can, and the more viewers I get, the more viewers want to see. Okay, I'm back. It's out of the oven now. This is how it turned out. And I'm happy with it. I mean, you can probably see the little holes that go all the way through it. I really don't think that they're going to be much of a problem, because it's a texture stamp made for mostly, I'm wanting to use it for doing mica chef stuff, so I'd be cutting when it comes out, it'll create bubbles all over the surface of the clay anyways, that I'm going to end up cutting off. So I don't think that the little holes will pose a problem. But if they happen to pose a problem to me in the future, I'll probably end up putting a backing on it. So it's just a texture plate. This isn't some jewelry piece or something, so it's not that important to put a backing on it. But like I said, if it poses a problem in the future, I'll probably end up putting a backing on it. But I hope you enjoyed learning how to make these two texture plates. Find something in your house that you can press in the clay and make some texture plates of your own. Experiment with different things. And if you're not happy with it, like I wasn't happy with some of the other things, like this dryer ball, I wasn't really happy with that. It just looked too sloppy to me. But then again, if I would have just cooked it up and tried it out on some clay, on the clay itself, it probably wouldn't have looked so bad. I guess it all depends on how you're designing your project and stuff, and what parts you're going to keep and what parts you're going to cut out and stuff. So, you know, it might have turned out okay, you know. It's texture. It's all it's meant to be. It's not meant to be design. It's meant to be texture. Yeah, it's meant to be design, but it's not your whole design. You can manipulate your clay to do what you want, and cut parts out and stuff, and make stuff out of stuff that, even though it looks horrible, you can make pretty things out of it. But it's a craft. It's clay. You play with it, you know, you can do some pretty amazing stuff with it. So just try it out. Have fun with it. But I hope you enjoyed this tutorial, and well, it's not really a tutorial. This is more of a tips type video for clay. But I hope you liked it, and if you did, please like it, subscribe, share, please. I need to get some views. Thank you. Bye. Till next time.